Greetings, friends. Welcome to this edition of Stories of Cat Catastrophes, the video series where I scour the internet, my own personal experience, to bring you tales of feline folly. And today's episode is going to be special and different. On the screen, the time-lapse that you're watching is me doing what I like to call master's studies, and this is where I'm copying the image from another cartoonist who goes by Red Pencil Entertainment on Instagram. His cartoons of cats are so very good and so very inspired, and I think he's got such a command of the different shapes of cats. I did a bunch of copying of his different sketches in my own little spin so that I could get used to the shape language that he is so good at and I could, frankly, use some help with. And while that's going, I figure I might tell you a personal story. You might be surprised to know, I am not a cat person. Definitely wasn't. And in fact, at one point in my life, I hated cats. Freaking hated them. Why? Because they scratch and they bite, and they don't want my love, and they don't want me to love them. So, yeah, not off to a good start with the cats. Much more of a dog person, because I want love and attention, and dogs also want love and attention. We understand each other perfectly. Dog guy, right? So, how did I go from dog guy to a dude who now lives in a house with 3 cats? Well, it all started back in college. I had a college girlfriend who had a cat, Lydia, a little tabby cat. And she was a sweet girl, and we got along great. And she was older than me. She was a senior when I was a freshman. And among other implications, that also meant that she was no longer in the dorms. She lived in an apartment that allowed pets, and so she had a cat. Now, during my second year of school, my parents decided that they were moving out of my childhood home and into a cookie-cutter affair deeper into town that had a very stringent HOA that was not dog-friendly. So, as much as I loved my dog, my parents did not. And I think it was kind of a passive-aggressive way of making sure they get rid of the dog. So we're moving to a neighborhood that doesn't allow dogs. Oh no, we have to get rid of Penny. She came with us when my grandparents moved in with us. By this point, they had passed away. They never wanted a dog, and this is a very quick, easy, convenient way to get rid of her. So they call me up and say, "Hey, Gabe, we're moving, and we can't bring the dog with us. But don't worry, we found her a good home with one of the guys who painted our house." I love this dog. This is my childhood animal. Her name was Penny. She was 35 pounds at the time, fluffy Chow German Shepherd mix, just the sweetest creature you ever met. She and I were essentially, personality-wise, we were the same people. All we want is love and attention and play. That's it. That's our entire list. We get hungry too, but I digress. I was heartbroken. I was beside myself with grief, and I looked for anyone nearby who could take the dog in instead. Just some way that I could take this dog in, but I can't, because where I was living also did not allow pets. But my girlfriend, her apartment complex allows pets. So, one night, I approached my girlfriend, who had been to my parents' house a couple times by then and knew of my dog and more or less liked my dog. I says, "My parents are moving to a neighborhood that's not dog-friendly, and she's my beautiful, sweet childhood dog, and I love her so much, and I don't know what I'm gonna do." And my girlfriend, I watched her resolve crack. And she went, "She can come here and live with me." And so she did. I brought my dog from Raleigh to Greenville, and she moved in to my girlfriend's apartment. Now, this was a pretty significant sacrifice on her part at the time, because it meant that she was much less free than she was beforehand. Cats don't need to take walks. Dogs do. She suddenly became the one who has to take the dog on at least one of her walks every day. And that is not a small thing for her to do, especially because this was a time where she was graduating, getting a job, and starting to work nights. So, significant sacrifice on her part. Now, she had a cat, Lydia. Penny had seen cats before, and is pretty chill. Lydia's never seen a dog before. So the day that we brought Penny to this tiny little apartment, my girlfriend went in first. She opened the door, the cat jumps up onto her shoulder because it's been a while and she misses her, and she's snuggling and purring the way that she only does if you've been gone for a while. And then she looks over my girlfriend's shoulder and sees 35 pounds of hairy, slobbery, dirty cotton ball coming right for her, and she freaks out, claws out, boom, leaps off, and disappears into some corner of the apartment. Bring the dog in with a crate that we borrowed from somebody. Put the dog in the crate and let the cat roam around so that she could get used to the smell. Kind of like if you're bringing a new cat into the situation, like you put one in the bathroom and they can kind of sniff each other from under the door. That was the idea. So Lydia would come up to Penny's cage, do that puff out thing, turn sideways, and just get up and hiss and back off, and hiss and back off. And Penny just sat there, placid. What's going on, kitty? What you doing? Just could not care less. Registered no threat. So, after about a day or so, we let the dog out, but I've got her on the leash. And this is so that the two of them can kind of get used to each other a little bit more. Like Lydia can walk all the way around the dog, and the dog can kind of eyeball Lydia as she's walking around. And Lydia comes up, cautious, circles the dog, and gets real close, starts sniffing nose to nose. And just as I figure they're about to make friends, claws out, bam! Right in Penny's nose. All four claws just right on that nose. And Penny gets away from me. This dog has not gotten away from me since I was in 5th grade. And she bolts. And the cat bolts. And it's a small apartment. And that cat is cornered almost instantly. And she gets against that corner. She's turned sideways and all puffed out. And she just does like this. She's stuck, and it's over. And this giant slobbery animal is so much bigger, so much faster, so much stronger than she is. She had no idea, and it's just waiting for the inevitable. And Penny walks away, finds a spot on the couch, hops up, and lays down, and that's that. And Lydia just stands in her corner, waiting for death and seeing that it's not coming, and seeing the dog had walked to the other end of the room. And so she very cautiously skirts her way to the other end of the room, climbs up on the opposite end of the couch, and folds herself and just eyeballs Penny. Just keeps her eye on her. And since then, there was an unsteady truce. Fast forward, a couple of weeks. They hang out now. They're doing all right. Penny is real chill, she don't care, and Lydia's starting to get used to the fact that there's a giant dirty cotton ball in her house. Well, one day Lydia gets bored. Climbs off the couch, walks up to Penny. Penny gives her attention, and smack! No claws this time, but smacks Penny right on the nose, takes off running. Penny bolts, chases her down, corners her. And Lydia looks up at Penny. You got me! I got you! That was fun. Let's do this again later. And Penny trots off to lay down on the couch, and Lydia trots off to lay down next to Penny. From that association, my girlfriend gained a new dog, and I gained a new cat. And that was the first cat in my life. How did I go from that to 3 cats? Well, I'm not going to tell you everything at once, am I? Now, this bit of story is worked into the kids' book that I made, and it's these images right here. This is what Lydia looked like, and this is what Penny looked like just before they became friends. And if you like the illustrations and you want to read the rest of this short children's book, please consider backing my book, Sometimes Kitties. In the meantime, give your own furry one some scritches from me, and take care. Hey, whatever happened to that college girlfriend, I hear you ask? Easy. I married that girl. 16 years. It'll be 17 years next month.